You can check in the far right if it's on.
All right, welcome in here today. It's the cream of the crop, what we've all been waiting for. It's a Division I NCLL championship game between the Penn State Nittany Lions against the Maryland Terrapins, the host team of this wonderful tournament, capping off an amazing weekend. Tim Duffy on the call here today, joined by Charlie Adams. And, you know, Charlie, we're very excited to get after it here. And we just had a great Division II game where we saw Union College defeat Westchester. Now it's where the big boys are here in D1.
Well, you know, Maryland has plenty of experience in these games. They're four-time national champions. They've hosted the event before, and they've been here, done that this season, this playoff run. It's been a great one. They've had big wins. They avenged their loss from Ohio State, and they continue to charge forward in the Division I scene and now have a great opportunity against Penn State here tonight.
Sure do, and both these teams cruising to the championship game. Yesterday, we had a chance to call all four of these games that these two teams took en route to the championship. Penn State beat UVA, Virginia 14-4 in the first game. Then they won a thriller against Navy in double overtime, 7-6, with Charlie Dye scoring the game winner. And Maryland, a couple of impressive wins, took on Holy Cross, took care of business there with a 12-4 win. And then we had last night Ohio State. It was a back-and-forth affair. Maryland coming from behind, able to get the W and host this game, playing on their own home field, trying to bring back their second consecutive national championship home. And we just saw Westchester in D2. They were trying to go back-to-back as well. They couldn't get it done. And the last time that Maryland hosted the tournament 11 years ago in 2013, Penn State won Division I. So let's see what happens today.
Well, it was the same story with Division II in Westchester. They couldn't bring it home. Now Penn State has the opportunity. Great event here from the NCLL, great hospitality, and We got the scoreboard running, the public address announcing, and of course our broadcasts have been the constant throughout both days of the weekend. Just gearing up for today's game, Division I championship action. You can't get bigger than this.
Sure can't get better than this. And we're looking for a big game. We got 20 minutes on the clock coming up now. Just getting these starting lineups all set and ready to go with the PA announcer next to us. And it's been a wonderful weekend here in College Park. It was extremely wet yesterday. We were outside for a long time doing 6 games apiece, me and you, Charlie. But today, we're at the stadium, we're in the press box, and we're feeling very comfortable. And most importantly, we're feeling blessed to be here in this spot right now.
Definitely has been a great opportunity and a great time. Plenty of hospitality to go around, keeping us well informed on what's going on the field and keeping us well fed as well. Just been a great time to be here in Maryland.
Sure is, man. It's a great time to be here, and we are very excited to get after it as the starting lineups resume here on Fans Only Sports Network. Just want to say this game is brought to you by none other than Powell Lacrosse, who has an incredible story. As you all know, this game goes far beyond the end line and carries on long after the last blow of the whistle. Since the early 1990s, the Powell family has been fueling the imagination of players, fans, and enthusiasts with their highly energized brand of lacrosse with unique backyard style. From their humble beginnings inside the small upstate New York paper mill town of Champion, the Powell brothers played the game with fire, unrivaled creativity, and a wild passion. Over the course of their careers, they became 3 of the most decorated lacrosse players ever. In 2015, their professional playing days came to an end, and they started a company that exists to support the culture, push the future, and pull the past. Now in their 9th year of business, they have become one of the world's top stick manufacturers, uniform suppliers, and event organizers. The best players are reaching for Powell sticks. The top teams are wearing Powell on their shoulders, and the best memories are being made at Powell events all over the world. So you can visit powelllacrosse.com, do some shopping, and join the journey. They offer an industry-leading 1-year warranty on all of their products, and every single stick that leaves their headquarters is strung by the hands of a certified Powell craftsman. You can use code NCLL24 for 10% off your order and start your relationship with Powell today, as this game has started its own relationship with Penn State getting it first. It gets knocked out of the mitts of a Nittany Lion and Elijah Sells. And this one is loose. Will be picked up by Maryland. Getting the ground ball early in this one. It's Jay Jenkins. Maryland getting a quick early offensive possession here first. It's Tucker Fonzo swinging it back to Jenkins. Or Sean Scott, excuse me. And we saw Scott have 3 goals last night in the win against Ohio State. Put on a clinic in that one. Here's Tracy, the big body, barreling through traffic, and they'll resort back at X, trying to put on the Jets. Tracy bounces off of one, puts it inside. This one is loose. It's tapped around, still on the ground. McCann trying to get it from Maryland, and it will be scooped up out of the pile by Nittany Lion. It was Harry Dunn. Here's Dunn swinging an extra pass. Shot gets saved by Ewan Nicky, the freshman goaltender, who had an exceptional game last night. In relief, he started the second half and gets the start today. That shot right there was taken by Braden Bellafiore. Here's Penn State again. Here's Charlie Dye kicking it. Garcia back to Dye, who was the hero of last night. And Charlie Dye actually skipped his graduation to come here. Again, this tournament, that's some dedication right there.
Yeah, I heard them saying it post-game that graduation does not matter. Let's go win this thing here today. Definitely some extra motivation added, and he was a big part of bringing that home.
That one behind the net. And it will be Ewan Nick again on top of it. The freshman had a great game against Ohio State, especially down the stretch. I mean, the original goaltender, they pulled him. And he started the second quarter, only allowed 3 goals in relief through 3 quarters. This one is fought for behind the net. Christian Weber trying to get it from Maryland, and it's scooped up. Tiptoeing the end line, stepped out of bounds, though, was Elijah Sells.
Tracy for Maryland has been a big force, especially in his game against Holy Cross. He was always right on top of things and pushing forward. Definitely a commanding one to watch out for here today.
Yeah, and then their next game, Tracy scored a goal that put the Terps up 3. Just a big body right there. Here's McCann behind the net. Trying to wrap around. McCann gets the first goal of the game. Or actually, that was not McCann. That was Demick. Brendan Demick with the goal. Number 5. 6, sorry. It's Evan Jones. Evan Jones with the goal. And we saw him have 2 last night against Ohio State. Jones creating his own shot there and opens up the scoring for Maryland. Faceoff is won by Penn State. And it gets knocked out of the midst of Sean Merrill from behind. And it's going back to Maryland. Goes out of bounds. Last touch by the Nittany Lions. Here is Demick. And Maryland, they're trying to become the first team in a little bit to go back-to-back here in NCLL Division I play. They won it last year. They have won 3 in their history. Here's Fonseca taking it. That one gets saved. That's Charlie Reshko in net for Penn State.
I couldn't tell you how many times Reshko came up big for the Nittany Lions in their win yesterday, taking down the number 1 seeded Navy team. They were just getting impressive stop after impressive stop in a close back and forth.
And he's another freshman goaltender, so we have the battle of freshman goaltenders today here in the NCLL Division I Lacrosse National Championship game. Here's Sean Scott getting it back. Swinging it out to John Soulier. Demick. Trying to get around the corner. Swing it out to the goal scorer, Evan Jones. Behind the net, Jones dancing. Coming near side, wrapping around. That one goes too tall, and it will go back the other way, it looks like. Yes, it will. Good hustle there from Joey Sluck to get it back for Penn State. And Sluck will lead it out here. There's Tyler Chadwick. He pushes it forward. Penn State looking again on the board as we are over 5 minutes into this game now. Bellafiore rolling over to Charlie Dye. Myers, one of the presidents of this team. Myers and Elijah Sells, the 2 presidents. Then Jack Songer, the captain of this squad. So Penn State, leadership is no problem for them. Dye cuts it through the middle. He wants it on the move. That one misses just off to the left, but it'll stay with Penn State. And the line's trying to get on the board. Running into a wall is Songer, the captain, and this one is loose. It's still fought for. Ground ball scooped up by Maryland. Up to Jenkins. Tries to tap it forward across midfield. It finds Demick. Numbers here for the Terps. Demick charging all the way himself. Demick got it saved. What a save by Reshko. Lunging to make that one. He had Jenkins on the near side. Demick won it himself, and this will stay with Maryland, though. It was Sells who was unable to hold on to it inbounds. Maryland, this was a potent team yesterday. One of the only teams to score double digits in each of their games. Throughout the entire tournament, but they're up to a 1-0 lead early in this one. Here's Fonseca. Trying to back down Dye. He spins. He gets some space. He bounces it. Hits the side of the net. And Reshko is there to get on top of it.
Another close look for the Terps, and we talked about Jack Songer and the leadership as a whole for Penn State. And in a timeout yesterday against Navy, it was definitely Songer who you could hear from our broadcast position really barking the orders, getting his team on the right path to a victory.
And this Penn State team has surprised some people in this tournament. I mean, they absolutely throttled Virginia in their first game yesterday, which was supposed to be, you'd think, a close contest. It was a 2-2 game early on. Then Penn State, reeling off 9 consecutive goals, ended up winning 14-4. A little screen here, and this will be against Penn State, going back the other way. Maryland in control. Fonseca, extra pass. Good look for Jones, and he got it saved. Jones looking for number 2. He fights for the ground ball here. He gets it. Picking out McCann, too tall. And this is going to go back to Penn State as Jones was not in the position to turn around and get to the end line. And it'll be Chadwick starting it off. There's Jack Rowe. He gets it poked away from behind. And it's going to stay with Penn State.
Through to Elite 8 yesterday on Saturday, we didn't see any upsets. The seeds told the story, and we had 1 through 4 seeds all alive in the Final Four. But both Division I and Division II's 1 seed went down. Penn State knows what it's like to be an underdog, and they have that mentality, especially here going against the number 2 home team playing at Maryland.
Yeah, that's a great point. The only 2 lower seeded teams that won yesterday were both 4 seeds over 1 seeds. Union over Kentucky, who actually won today as the 4 seed, the D2 tournament, beating Westchester. And then obviously last night, Navy, the undefeated squad, getting taken down in double overtime by this Penn State team, looking to answer here. Got some space, rolling it towards the net. That one misses right. And it was Bellafiore. Couldn't get to go as we're just over halfway through this first quarter here on Fans Only Sports Network. Swinging and kicking. This one's knocked down by Jenkins. He's trying to scoop it up, and he will. Jenkins flips it forward into traffic.
Good job to get that pass free.
Yeah, absolutely. McCann down the field. Whistle blows first.
A little bit of a self-sacrifice on that pass. Jenkins still down after making it.
Yeah, Jenkins is slow to get up. About the 35. Guarded by some teammates. We'll take a little break here on Fans Only Sports Network. Maryland is up 1-0. All right, back here. Jenkins giving the thumbs up en route to the sideline there. So looks to be okay. A little bit shaken up, but this is a tournament here where a couple teams have suffered some injuries. You know, Union had 2 of their best players get hurt. They still won today. But Jenkins looks like he'll likely return later. Scott moves over to McCann. Maryland trying to expand on this lead early in the first quarter. McCann, he can't make the catch there. Not a great pass. They say it got tipped, though. Wow, it got tipped by a Nittany Lion. It's going to stay with Maryland. I did not see that, but I'm sure the referee heard something down below. Fonseca back to Scott. Fonseca trying to back down his defender, and Dunn gets at X. Spins on Dunn. Wraps around the corner. Fonseca scores the goal. My apologies. Fonzo scores the goal. Tucker Fonzo makes it 2-0.
That was a tight angle to sneak it around. Horeshko, not much room there as it just snuck past right out of the wraparound, put away. Maryland up 2 goals. Got the hometown team leading here.
2-0 for Maryland. Jones and Fanzo getting the goals. This one is poked way up ahead to McCann, and he'll scoop it up and set up Maryland on the plus side of the field again here. Fanzo. Maryland, they're playing like they're on their home field right now as they've dominated in every aspect of the game thus far. Here's Zajac trying to go left, spins it back right, gives it up. It's his Fonseca this time. McCann trying to wiggle inside, backs up a little bit. Makes a move. McCann turns it over. Not a great pass. Looking for Mason Britt. Across the field, and it goes back the other way to Penn State. Trailing 2-0. And Penn State, they had no problem scoring yesterday, especially against Virginia. And this Big Ten matchup going Maryland's way so far. A couple of Big Ten schools. Bellafiore swings it back out to Lloyd Adkins. Rice up to Garcia. Here is Rice again. Getting around the corner. Rice backs down on one. Gives it up. Garcia, a good look, and that one is way too tall, but he'll stay with Penn State.
Nittany Lions have had some chances in the first quarter. Still a 0 in their scoreboard with 5 minutes and change to go in the first quarter. I don't think we saw any shutout quarters in our Division II championship.
Almost had one, and it won't happen here. As it is a Penn State goal. It's Braden Bellafiore getting the Nittany Lions on the board.
Penn State goal, number 9, Braden Bellafiore.
And just like that, Penn State's on the board.
Well, every time I want to ever bring up the scoreboard during this tournament across today and yesterday, it seems like it's time for one of these teams to put a score on the board, and it happens again, cutting that deficit in half. Penn State with some momentum now, approaching the end of our first quarter.
Yeah, and they needed that one pretty badly, as, like you said there, we didn't have any donuts for either team in a quarter in the D2 championship matchup. They avoid it here. There's a lot of time left anyways, and let's see how they can respond as they're going to get the ball back on this one. Here's Adkins. Songer over to Garcia. Coming across the field is Rice. Price, rather. It's back to Price. Garcia. Thought about going right, cuts it back in the middle. Putting on the accelerators with Noah Lairfield on him for Maryland. Adkins looking to even things up. Spinning behind the net. He's got Huey on him. Adkins gives it up. Extra pass. Got a lot of space, and they Go to Garcia again instead. Songer at the X. Gets some green grass, makes a nice spin move and gives it up. Thought he could have a shot right there. It's Adkins now this time, as those two have been rotating behind the net, taking their turns on who's going to try to set something up from that angle. Belfore, goal scorer for Penn State. There's Price. And Penn State taking their time here. I mean, no shot clock in NCLL as opposed to MCLA. And it allows these guys to get the best quality shot. And there it is. And Price ringed it too tall. Saves with Penn State, though. Songer to Price. Takes the shot. Ooh, I think you and Nicky got a piece of it. And they're going to give this to Penn State as Adkins beat the freshman goaltender to the race there. Adkins gets it back inside for Songer, and that one he couldn't hold on to. Picked up by Connerly. This one flung down the field. Up to McCann. Stops, turns, fires, scores. Jack McCann makes it 3-1. So that's 3 goals scored by 3 different Terps. And McCann using that stature to his advantage, getting shifty, getting the green grass and punching in the goal.
Maryland ran up the field after the poor pass right inside for Penn State, and now back up to a 2-goal lead. That was some smooth stick work, spinning around and getting that on the shot. Good score to make it 3-1.
Final 75 seconds here of the first quarter. Penn State winning the faceoff. That's big for him. And it's Sean Merrill who started off with it. 60 seconds to go here in the first quarter of the NCLL Division I championship game. This one is rolled over to Brody Myers. Dye. Garcia. Songer. Just playing catch here as 15 more seconds have wasted. More so 20 as there's 40 ticks to go. Looking for the last shot. Or in the very least, the last possession. Dye. Back over to Myers at the top. Working in the middle, taking the shot, gets saved. That was Belfore again. This is going to stay with Penn State with 15 seconds to work with. Songer turns, gives it up to the open man in Belfore. Final 5 seconds, they got to get a shot off. Garcia with 3. He rings it towards the net. Ooh, and it gets saved by Ewan Nicky. That is how the first quarter will end. Maryland up 3-1 after 1. And we'll be right back here on Fans Only Sports Network for quarter number 2. 20 more minutes on the clock. Audio's not. All right, there we go. Thanks all for tuning in. We are back here for quarter number 2 here on Fans Only Sports Network. This is a 3-1 lead for the Terrapins playing on their home field here in the championship game. As Penn State starts with it quickly. That shot too tall. Stay with the Nittany Lions. As boys from State College, Pennsylvania are starting off quick here in the second quarter. Tim Duffy joined here by Charlie Adams again. This game once more brought to you by Powell Lacrosse. Visit powelllacrosse.com. Do some shopping and join the journey. Powell Lacrosse. If you use code NCLL24, you can get 10% off of any purchase. Every stick is made by a Powell craftsman, and it's so good you can shoot right out of the box with it. So visit powelllacrosse.com and use code NCLL24 for 10% off of any order. And here's Brody Myers back at it for Penn State. Belfore back to Myers. Ty, Myers. We saw Penn State do this last possession before the end of the quarter. Just moving around. That one almost got intercepted there by Justin Dixon. And this one will be a shot that will stay with Penn State, as the man there was Nathan Price ready for it, and it'll be Price starting this possession following the shot. Price. Myers. Taking it from distance, it's Dye, and that one gets saved by Iwanicki. There is a penalty during the ad read, and it was a slash from what I'm hearing up here, but this is Maryland back at it here. Sean Scott. Already 2 minutes expired here in the second quarter. Here is Tracy. Gives it up low. Looking shot there from Fanzo. He couldn't get that one on target, but he'll stay with Maryland.
For Penn State versus Navy in their Final Four matchup, they were leading the scoring and always one step ahead of the Sled Dogs in that one. I thought that was a big factor in them pulling through. They seemed to play with more confidence than Navy, who trailed the whole game. I want to see how Penn State plays from behind in this one.
Here's Jones. Spinning, wiggles left. Jones gives it up. Demick back to Jones. These two combined on a couple goals last night in the win against Ohio State. They helped put it away late in the second half. It's Jones tiptoeing, giving it up. Good look, spinning, McCann. Extra pass, Tracy steps into it and couldn't get it to go. And he'll stay with Maryland, though, as Fanzo was right there for it. Here is Fanzo. That time, didn't get enough power on that one. It was a doable save for Reshko. And taken away, McCann. He missed it from point-blank range. I think they were going to blow it dead first anyways, as they say that he stepped in the crease. So it's going back to Penn State.
We saw a D2 championship goal wiped away. It didn't really matter too much for Union, but that chance, even though it probably would have got waved off, looked a little rushed from Maryland. Such a good opportunity, though.
Reshko coming about 15 yards out of the net, throws a dot down the field to Dunn. We'll wait for his teammates to catch up, but it's been a spectacular weekend here in College Park. A lot of competitive lacrosse. I mean, level of competition, like I was saying in the last game a little bit, there's not a whole, completely vast difference from the 1 seed to the 8 seed. I mean, close games all across the board for the most part here in this tournament.
I think the biggest blowout of the day was a 2 versus 3 seed matchup in Division II.
Yeah, it was 15-4 victory, Westchester over High Point in the Final Four, as Penn State looking to get their second of the game. It's Paremba, and now he moves it over to Belfore. Paremba gets it back. Dye. Been quiet today after scoring the game-winning goal in double overtime last night over Navy, looking for a shot, lost his balance, and is forced to give it up. Belfore. A lot of rotation here for Penn State. Trying to get an open look. Here's Price around the lane. Price, I think Nicky got a piece of that one. This should be Maryland's ball. It is. And the freshman just getting there and making the heads-up play. Fanzo with it for Maryland. McCann. Those two have each scored a goal here in this one. No scoring here in the first 5 minutes, 45 seconds of the second quarter. Here's Soulier. Gives it up. McCann able to get it back here. Brian Zajac coming near side, gives it up, and that is right over the stick of Fanzo. And he had some green grass right there on the curl and couldn't make the catch, as the scoring drought will continue.
I think Maryland's had a couple good looks that they weren't able to connect with already in this quarter. Just kind of off their game a little bit, but not costing them yet. They still lead by 2.
Songer. Trying to cut this 2-goal deficit of the Nittany Lions. Here's Fish, who just had it now. Finds Songer again. Back to Fish. Songer. Belfore, the only goal scorer for Penn State here in the first almost 30 minutes of game time. Got some space here. Cuts inside. Takes a big hit and lost the ball. And it's scooped up by the man who made the big hit there. That was Connor Huey. Maryland trying to break this one open. Fonzo cradling with it here. Sends it over to Demick. Here's Scott. That blue helmet back to Demick. Fanzo. Maryland looking to strike first here in quarter number 2. Demick. Puts on the Jets, gives it up. That shot is saved as McCann gets denied. Hreshko again with another big-time save to keep this a 2-goal game.
See the Nittany Lions offense support the good goalie work that we're seeing from Hreshko here.
There's Hunter in the left. Caught that out the pass, still has it. And like you said, I mean, the goaltender, Hreshko, we've seen it a lot today. Some long passes out of the net from these audacious goaltenders here. Here's Songer. Back over to Fish. Penn State trying to work this one in the middle. Yeah, you get it back to Fish. There's Nathan Price. Price stops on a dime. Fake the pass, still has it. He has to give it up as Maryland. I mean, this defense has been stifling here. And that shot scores. Oh, my goodness. Belfore, be for real, as he snuck that one in there to cut it to 3-2. His second of the game.
What an over the shoulder to get this a one-score game once again. That was a smooth move to put number 2 on the board. There's that mojo, the swagger that Penn State's been playing with this weekend long.
So Bellaforia able to, showcase some of that swagger and cut the scoring drought. As we're just about halfway through the second quarter, that's the first goal of the period, and it belongs to Penn State. What a shot, though, right over the head of Iwanicki. This one slapped forward. It's going to go out of bounds. It is belonging to Maryland.
Maryland's defense getting the crowd involved there, knocking the stick loose of the Penn State attacker, taking over possession.
Maryland trying to get their 4th goal. They have only trailed once today, 3-1-0, and they had 3 unanswered goals. That drought got broken. My apologies. They were up 2-0. I don't know what I'm talking about. But here's Maryland with it, and it's Fanzo who had the second goal. Fanzo trying to work in the middle, runs into a wall of blue jerseys, still has it somehow, and is forced to give it up. Here's Fonseca trying to angle it right. Mason Britt, the senior. Back to McCann. Working from behind the net is Jones, looking to set something up here. Jones, can he get number 2? He can't, as this one's saved and will pinball about 40 yards to midfield, and it's going to be picked up by Fonseca for Maryland.
We saw in our Division II game that these top teams haven't really been using their timeouts, or at least feeling the urgency to use them here. And right now in our second quarter, winding down, over just under 8 minutes to go. Still no team using a timeout yet.
Yeah, no teams used the timeout. I mean, it's been a pretty disciplined game as well, as this one is ripped away. Back to Maryland's direction. Osborne made the play, and the Terrapins trying to get themselves firmly asserted back in the driver's seat here. It's McCann. The Demick and, Demick, McCann, and Jones have, kind of been running this offense a little bit. So has Fanzo. For Maryland, looking to claim their second consecutive Division I NCLL championship. It's Tracy in traffic, gives it up, falling down. Inside, good look, and it's number 2 for Evan Jones. Demick to Jones, gets the lead back up to a pair.
Maryland goal, number 6, Evan Jones. Assisted by number 5, Brandon.
The Terrapins continue to get the go-ahead and always lining up an insurance goal to keep Penn State just out of it. Another chance here. Penn State trailing by 2.
So Maryland finally gets on the board. Only took them about 14 minutes almost into the second quarter, but they get their first score of the second and are back up by 2 scores, but Penn State wins the faceoff here. Sean Merrill's done a good job on the faceoffs of the Nittany Lions today. Coming off the bench, and again at Charlie Dye. Over to Price. LaForest back to Price. LaForest scored both of the Penn State goals up to this point. Here's Dye. Myers. LaForest, can you do it again? Wrap it from around the net. He's going to try it. It looks like. Puts it inside instead, though. He had a man on the cut. And whistle blows first. It's a push against the Terp. As Belfoy was looking for Nathan Price on the cut. Stays with the Nittany Lions, though, as a result of the push in the back. But we're inside the final 5 minutes now here of the first half. It's been a defensive game for the most part, Charlie. Neither team's really been able to break this thing open.
Yeah, Penn State's had some clean passing and looked to be pretty on the ball, but Maryland just defensively stronger.
As Dye, that one slipped out of his mitts there, and it looked like Maryland was there first. And the answer to that question is yes. Back the other way for the Terrapins. And some good defense closing in right in front of the net. This one is close to the end line. And Fanzo able to stay in. He's touched it last. Good defense, not giving up on the play there by the Nittany Lions. And Jet Kelly, one of the vice presidents of this team, was there defensively for it.
When Penn State hosted this tournament in 2023, they lost in the Elite Eight, and it was Maryland winning at Penn State. Penn State now at Maryland with a chance to win. A little behind here.
On the move, taking that shot. And yeah, like you said, Penn State coming off of a tough loss in the Elite Eight at home last year. They were only a 500 team a year ago. This year, 7-1. The only loss came at Ohio State. They had some really impressive wins against Vermont and Notre Dame, albeit both those games were shortened. But yesterday really showed that they deserve to be in this game. On the move, taking the shot, falling down. Didn't have a chance to get that one off cleanly. Was Paremba. Iwaniski down the field. He's got a man in stride. Jenkins actually picked up by McCann, and Jenkins was calling for it for a sec. As just over the final 2 minutes here in the first half. Brought to you by Powell Lacrosse, of course. Fanzo over to Jones. Jones, who might be the odds-on favorite right now, maybe with his goaltending teammate to win this Final Four MVP, but a lot of lacrosse to go in this one. But, this Terrapin offense, who was at the core of their couple of wins yesterday, Sean Scott being one of them, he falls down and lost it. Penn State in control, on the move with it. It's Nalepka inside, good feed behind the back shot, and he scores. Highlight reel.
Oh my.
An unbelievable finish. And it was Brody Myers, I believe, with the goal, and what a shot.
More slick scoring from Penn State. If these behind the back, these over the shoulder, these no-looker shots keep coming, they just keep filling up the highlight reel despite being still trailing by one.
Number 18, Dom Wantis with the goal. Wantis is one of these guys who's not on the original roster that we were handed. But Wantis, he's making his presence wanted right now. And in transition, what transition offense right there from Penn State, and a timeout call by Maryland with just over a minute to go here in the first half. 4-3, Terps on top. We'll be right back here on Fans Only Sports Network. All right, back here. NCLL Division I championship game. Don Watts just scored an incredible goal to cut the lead for Maryland back down to 1. And Maryland, the timeout, they've been great off the timeout in this tournament. They're trying to punch in one more before the gun.
It's been an exciting first half. Penn State trailing, but still keeping what's made them a successful team this weekend. And that's just some flashy play, but doing it when it's most effective. That behind-the-shoulder goal they scored, that was the only way that they could have got their second goal across. Just when nobody expects it, slinging it from a crazy angle and putting it away.
50 seconds left here in the first half, and Penn State on the break in transition, just looking marvelous. That is the best thing that could happen for the Nittany Lions before the end of the first half. Here's Evan Jones taking his time with 35 seconds and counting down. Jones, tiptoe, cuts inside. Jones takes the shot. That one missed it. This is going to go back to Penn State, I think. We'll see. They say yes. Penn State gets it back. Great hustle from Joey Sluck. Clock continues to wind down. And Nittany Lions, I think they just called the timeout, and they did. And clock says they're not stopping the clock here. It's going on to 10 seconds. They're probably going to put maybe about 20 ticks back on here. But now Penn State, we just saw them in pursuit a moment ago, being able to punch one in. Now a chance to do it again. But Maryland, you best believe they're going to be ready for it.
Well, in the first quarter, Maryland was able to get across on that wraparound tight angle shot. This time, not so much. A little good adjustment from Penn State to stop that effort.
Referee yelling up here to put up to 20 seconds, so they're going to add 9 seconds, and whoever's doing the scoreboard here has let some seconds waste here, but it is all right because it's easily fixed here at a beautiful Division I stadium at Sekou Stadium. And we're still lucky to be here. Look at this beautiful view of College Park. You were staying about 20 minutes away in Capitol Heights for the weekend. And just been a pleasure to be here doing all these games. So couple of Big Ten rivals squaring off in the weekend's final game.
Penn State making the trip from State College, Pennsylvania, and over to College Park and trying to make the trip worth it with this game, just a one-score game as we approach halftime.
Coming out of the timeout, they set it up here. Let's see what they draw up. They got to stretch the field. 10 seconds left. Dancing with it. Putting it in the middle of the field. And they call their second timeout here. No, they don't, actually. It's turnover. It was a turnover here. And this will end the first half. Maryland's up 4-3 at the break. And Charlie, what a first half it was, with the Terps up 4-3 behind 2 goals from Evan Jones. Difference maker here in this one.
Yeah, multiple 2-goal leads for Maryland, but Penn State right behind keeps on fighting. 1-goal deficit entering the break, certainly something they can work with and manage to hopefully fight back from. If you're a Nittany Lions fan, they were trailing at points against Navy, finished off the upset against the 1 seed yesterday. See what happens today on the other side of the break.
And if they're able to win this game on Maryland's home field, you got to imagine that ride back would be more than joyous. And, Maryland, they don't have to travel too far. But we still have 40 more minutes. It's anybody's game, 10-minute break. But before we go to the break, we do have to give one more shout-out to our amazing sponsor, Powell Lacrosse Sticks. And, Powell Lacrosse Sticks, one of the best on the market, obviously. And we all know the story of the Powell brothers. But let me tell you about it one more time. As you all know, this game goes far beyond the end line and carries on long after the last blow of the whistle. Since the early 1990s, the Powell family has been fueling the imagination of players, fans, and enthusiasts with their highly energized brand of lacrosse and unique backyard style. From their humble beginnings inside the small upstate New York paper mill town of Champion, the Powell brothers played the game with fire, unrivaled creativity, and wild passion. Over the course of their careers, they became 3 of the most decorated lacrosse players ever. In 2015, their professional playing days came to an end, and they started a company that exists to support the culture, push the future, and pull the past. Now in their 9th year of business, they have become one of the world's top stick manufacturers, uniform suppliers, and event organizers. The best players are reaching for Powell sticks. The top teams are wearing Powell on their shoulders, and the best memories are being made at Powell events all over the world. So with that being said, you guys should go visit powelllacrosse.com to do some shopping around and join the industry. They offer an industry-leading 1-year warranty on all of their products, and every single stick that leaves their headquarters is strung by the hands of a certified Powell craftsman to make sure your stick is throwing perfect right out of the box. Use coupon code NCLL24 for 10% off your entire order and start your relationship with Powell today. So we'll be right back in about 7.5 minutes, halftime here on Fans Only Sports Network. Maryland up 4-3 on their home field, trying to claim their second consecutive NCLL Division I championship. Penn State trying to play spoiler. We'll be right back here on Fans Only Sports. right back here. 20 more minutes on the clock. Quarter number 3 about to begin for some Cinco de Mayo lacrosse today. Happy Cinco de Mayo for anyone celebrating today.
Excited, my favorite Mexican spot, specially open on this Sunday, usually closed, but Cinco de Mayo, got to make some changes, hopefully get home in time to actually enjoy the holiday.
Hopefully we can get home in time. And as indeed, we're going from Maryland to Rhode Island, so get back late. Let's see what's open.
Both teams, both referees ready to start this game about 2.5 minutes earlier than clock predicted.
A lot of short half times in the NCLL. These guys don't waste any time, so we've been seeing it all year. As Penn State will win the faceoff and open up the third quarter in control. Looking to even things up. On the move, it's Brody Myers making a tough catch with Jenkins all over him. What a great name, Brody Myers, who slings it out near side. It's Garcia. He defers to Fish. Fish gets it back to Myers. As Penn State had a gorgeous goal in transition before the break to cut this back to 1. Now time to even it up if you're a Nittany Lion fan. Here's Myers. Spinning is Songer. And he thought he had some green grass, but will give it up instead to Bellafiore, who scored 2 of the 3. Dom Wantis, the other one. For Penn State, this one charges in the middle, gives it up. Good look. Shot goes a little bit too tall for Bellafiore. It'll stay with Nittany Lions, though.
Do you want to talk about great names for Westchester in our Division II championship? We saw Buzz Hertz and Blaze Botley. Enjoyed both of those. They pop off the page.
A lot of B's there. Could not beat the boys from Union College, though. Here's Bellafiore. Garcia spins, gets some space, fires. Oh, my goodness, he scores. Snuck it in right over Iwaniski's shoulder, and it's a tie game at 4 apiece. What a snipe from Rocco Garcia. That was sick.
Penn State continues to dazzle us with their goals.
Didn't have a lot of space at all to get that one off. And another face-off won by the Nittany Lions. Merrill does it again. Merrill wants to take it. He rips it on the windup. Got saved by Iwaniski. This one is tapped forward, and the freshman goaltender able to scoop this one up. Iwaniski, he lost the handle on it. Got to be careful here. Scoops it up. Gives it back over to a Terp. This one is flung down the field by Connerly, and nobody's home. Turnover for the Terrapins. And it will roll out of bounds. And, Evan Jones was almost got there, but didn't have the Jets to get it before it hits the end line. Charlie Dye cutting up the middle. Penn State able to tie it up for the first time today, looking for their first lead, in control of the ball here. Garcia rolls it over to Ryan Ortiz coming off the bench. And Ortiz, we haven't seen him too much today, trying to back down Jenkins. Or rather, he's guarded by Will Gervais. Here is Ortiz, still has it, forced to give it up. Dye unable to hold it in at first. And he'll scoop it up with some room to run. That one's intercepted. Didn't even see him, and that has got to be a penalty right there, and it's an easy call. Bellafiore is going to go to the box. Dye put it into traffic, and it was Coy Greenwell who made an easy interception. And now another flag flies after the play.
A little frustration, threw his stick to the sideline. Maryland proud and quick to point it out to the referees as the second flag comes out.
So Maryland will be a man up, and Bellafiore, he just absolutely tore Greenwell to the ground.
Not sure if he was more upset about the call or about himself with that.
And this is a locked-in penalty right here. He got the unsportsmanlike too afterwards. So
not the time to be making these kind of mistakes. Championship on the line.
Definitely not. Kind of looked like a loose ball foul in basketball where he just took him down before he could lead the break. So if Penn can survive this, they might call this a good penalty from their leading scorer today, Braden Bellafiore. Scott swings, gets it back. Tracy, extra dish. Demick, back to Tracy. Maryland trying to retake the lead. Demick inside, good look. Shot gets saved as Fanzo got denied by Reshko. Harry Dunn. As Penn State down a man. Able to push it forward. It's in traffic. This one is loose and knocked out of his hands. What a play from behind from Scott. Getting defensive right there. Knocking out a Clayton Gibbs mitts. And unlike yesterday, we can't hear everything that's going down below us. We were right above both benches yesterday. But here's Fanzo getting some space. Fanzo and Scott, this one gets by him. He's able to scoop it up. 6 minutes into this third quarter. Good look here, getting inside. Fanzo with his second puts the Terps back in front. Second of the game for Tucker Fanzo, and Maryland retakes the lead.
Well, the Terrapins might not be doing it as fancy as Penn State has gotten across, but they've led the dance here today, back in front, 5-4. They want this win on home turf.
They sure do. I mean, they're trying to, walk back to their dorm rooms or whatever the situation is, living here at University of Maryland.
Huge campus.
Huge campus, yeah, indeed. I mean, great stuff around it, too. I mean, this has been a great weekend. We haven't stayed here, but fun fact, I did stay here about 5 years ago for history tournament, which is kind of nerdy of me. We were in the summer. Those dorm rooms were sweaty, though. I'll tell you that. They were hot. Here's Garcia. He scored the most recent Nittany Lion goal. Stops on a dime. Looks to give it up. He takes it actually instead, and he does it once more. Right where Mama hides the cookies. 2 goals just like that for Rocco Garcia in the quarter, and they've been nearly identical. And in both instances, he's tied up the game. What a shot from Garcia. Again.
A bit of a stare down right after towards the Maryland bench. I'm sure that's not going to go unnoticed, and that was not unintentional either. These teams are ready to play, and when you're in such a close game with such stakes on the line, there is going to be some tension, of course.
Garcia, I mean, we saw him score in that blowout win against Virginia yesterday. He's taking his game to another level right now. And he's put the Penn State Nittany Lions on his back here in the second half, scoring. This one on the ground. It will be scooped up by Chadwick, it looked like, and helping out from behind after the play was Nalepka. This one loose, pushed from behind at midfield. The flag's going to fly for that one, and Maryland will be man up again. And it was Chadwick. It looked like he pushed Nick Candela from behind, and clock has not stopped yet for the penalty, but it's the referees chatting it out first. The flag did fly. Chadwick coming down to the box, and for the second time in the matter of minutes, Maryland will be a man up. Take a look at Chadwick there. And you said this a moment ago, Charlie, for the last penalty we saw in Bellafoure. These are some tough penalties to commit. And, you know, both, honestly, could have not happened, to be quite frank.
Yeah, the referee's not leaving any room for any of those kind of actions. At least this time, no extra added on that was completely unnecessary to get the unsportsmanlike in the earlier penalty.
Inside, Reshko trying to rip it away from Fanzo, and the referee's going to blow it dead first. Goes back to Penn State. I think Fanzo got in the crease there. Now here's Penn State, backpedaling, flinging it to midfield. And this is not a great pass. Looking for Songer, goes out of bounds. Back to Maryland. And this game tied up. Both these two teams making some errors, and it's going to come down to who can make the least down the stretch, as these two squads scoring less than they're accustomed to in this tournament so far. McCann, back over to Demick.
Back to even action now.
Maryland came in this game averaging 11 goals the first two games of the tournament. Penn State 10.5. Good look here. Fanzo slips through one and scores his third. Back-to-back goals for Tucker Fanzo. And the Terps retake the lead with 9 minutes left in the third. Getting slippery right there to punch it home. And Maryland back on top.
What a back and forth affair. Again, it's Maryland who takes the lead. We're waiting on the Penn State Nittany Lions to start stringing them together, get out in front, but they're fighting along as they're given possession there.
So Maryland back up by 1. As Fanzo scored the last two for the Terrapins, and for Penn State, Rocco Garcia scored both. So both these two teams getting goals from the same players each time. Here's Wantis over to Garcia, and he couldn't make the catch. Garcia is like, need a better ball than that, Dom. Goes out of bounds. Connerly slings down the field, and off and running with it is Gervais.
Both teams checking in some new faces here.
It's Fanzo, who's been the star of the show here with a hat trick in this game. Swings it out. Fonseca. McCann. Terps trying to go back up by 2. They've led by 2 twice today. McCann gets through, lost it. Fanzo's there to recover, picked up by Fonseca in the air, and he almost got a shot there off. And if he scored that one, that would have completed an absolutely circus type of play for Maryland. But it's the Nittany Lions getting it back down a goal. Dye trying to get through. His helmet came off. He got hooked. And this one is going back to Maryland. Great defensive play there by Joseph Marshall, number 14. Jenkins at midfield will start off for the Maryland Terrapins. And Maryland's really starting to regain some rhythm. They're taking advantage of these Penn State mistakes the last couple of minutes, looking to go back up by a couple scores here, Charlie.
They're in good position, you know. They got that defensive stop, and see if the defense turns to offense here.
Here's Scott. Back to Tracy. Demick. As you know, Maryland has really kind of kept the same offensive personnel this entire game with the same attackers and midfielders. In dire times, this thing's been close from top to bottom. They need their best, and Demick gives them their best. A circus shot flying through the air. Makes it 7-5 as Demick with his first goal of the game going airborne on that one. Some style points to take home with him there.
You know, Hereshko has played some aggressive goaltending, and most of the times it's to help him out, and they're a little bit aggressive, and they read it, jumped around, and that was an athletic goal to sneak it past.
Sure was. And I feel like I hadn't really seen any of those. You know, we see a lot of those in lacrosse. We do a lot of lacrosse, you know, NCLL or high school here at Fans Only Sports, and hadn't really seen a goal going airborne in this tournament until then, and Demick flying high to punch it in. Like you said, Hereshko, a little bit aggressive there, goaltending, trying to box him out and cost his team on that one. But inside the last 5 minutes now, the third quarter, Maryland trying to blow this thing open and get their largest lead of the game on this possession. They've led by 2 on 3 different occasions, have not led by more than that, though, as it is Jones backpedaling, dancing with the ball. I'm sure they can take some more time here than they had previously. Up 2 again. Fanzo swinging it. McCann trying to back down his defender. Doesn't have the size advantage whatsoever and gives it up to Mason Britt. Britt gets some action at the X, slips under one. Britt gives it up. Good look for Jones. He slips, falls down, lost the ball. Penn State back in it offensively as Dunn swings it over. There's a flag down. This is a free play for Penn State. If I'm not mistaken, this will be their first man-up advantage of the game. That shot is saved by Uniski, and a penalty on the other end of the field in that jam right there, and it's going to be against Maryland. Legal body check against Mason Britt as he did it to the head there. It's a minute, and there's a man down too. The man down is Ethan Walpole for Penn State. He took the shot at the end of the play, and Walpole, oh man, they're begging for some medical attention. We'll be right back here on Fans Only Sports Network. 3:13 left in the third quarter. Look at the sportsmanship right here. Walpole getting some help from some Maryland teammates, or opponents rather, off the field, and I got a couple of Nittany Lions there to help him out as well. But good sportsmanship there. This is all brotherhood here. It looked like Walpole had a lower leg injury. And, we thought it was a lot more severe from the initial sighting. We're still not sure of the diagnosis, of course, but the fact that he's able to walk off, with a little bit of help, albeit definitely more favorable than what we thought off air a moment ago. So Ethan Walpole, hopefully he is okay, and this will recover soon. But it looks like his day in the NCLL championship is likely over. 3:13 left in the third. Back to action. This game brought to you by Powell Lacrosse. Visit powelllacrosse.com for more details, as they have sponsored this event, as they usually do. You can visit powelllacrosse.com and use code NCLL24 for 10% off of any order. And start your journey with Powell today. Here's Garcia looking for a third quarter hat trick, and he missed that one by a pretty significant amount there. Songer will start it off as the Nittany Lions try to get this back to a one-goal game. Songer steps into it, gives it up. Myers, Dye, extra pass, Garcia. Myers, not a great ball. He has to chase after it. He'll win the race. Has to scoop it up, though. That's the hard part. And he taps over to Dye instead. Dye wasn't ready for it, and he's able to pick it up and lay a boom on Jay Jenkins. This one gets tipped, and it's taken by Maryland. As Dye got that one knocked down, Connerly made the play and threw a terrible pass afterwards. Right back to Penn State, though. Nice wiggle from Myers to tap it to himself. Myers with some green grass gives it up. Songer rips it. That one goes off to the side, but it'll stay with the Penn State Nittany Lions as we approach the 2-minute mark of the third quarter.
Penn State's been making the right decision on these passes, but sometimes they're just not executing the passes. If it's to the person, sometimes the wrong side to really receive it and get a shot off.
There's Bellafoure spinning. And that was some of their best offense here the third quarter right there. As they got to the man who was hot, and Garcia a couple times, and going to connect. That's a good tap up ahead across midfield by Chadwick to keep it with Penn State. Charlie Dye, Garcia, that's his spot. Can he do it again? Spinning. And he won't be audacious enough to take it right there. It's a little screen, though. Sets it up inside. Turnaround shot. Oh, it got blocked. Got rejected by the feet of Greenwell, denying the Songer shot. And it will be Charlie Dye working with just over a minute to go here in the third. Dye, not a great ball at all to Songer. Turned over.
Maryland's defense is definitely paying a little more extra attention than they did at the beginning of this one to Garcia on offense. Just giving him an extra little look. Could open up other opportunities for Penn State, but also might shut down Garcia's day.
Connerly up to Sean Scott. And Scott coming near side. He takes a big hit, tumbles down. There's going to be a flag for that one. Ooh. And he still has it somehow, but now we'll address it, and Maryland will be a man up. This was either against Elijah Sells or Harry Dunn. We're waiting to see who it was. They were both in the area, as one of them just did enough pushing Sean Scott in the back there. And it's a push, and the recipient of the penalty is, in fact, Harry Dunn. Shout out to Harry, though. I was DMing him before the game, getting some info on Penn State. Helped me out enough to get me some update information, and that winds down the third quarter. 20 minutes left here in the NCLL season. Maryland leads it 7-5 after 60, as they're trying to close this one out on their home turf and take home their second consecutive NCLL Division I championship. We'll be right back here on Fans Only Sports Network.
Click SB.
20 minutes left here in the championship game. Maryland with a man up. Here's Scott. Jones gets it back to Scott. He fires and it's saved. Treshko with a big-time block on that one as the sun is starting to come out a little bit in College Park. That's the nicest we've seen it all weekend. That one was dangerous from Reshko. Songer. Dancing with it. Penn State trying to crawl back in this one. There's Ortiz. New personnel for the Nittany Lions here to open up the fourth offensively. Here's Jack Rowe back to Ortiz. Price. Fires. Ooh, that was a crazy angle he took that at. Winded up from the back. Got it on line, but just a little bit too tall. But the Nittany Lions are ready for it there.
Put plenty on that from that angle. Wow.
Yeah, he sure did. That was impressive that he even got that off accurately. But here's Songer. With Jay Jenkins looking at him defensively. The captain of this team, Songer, makes a great move. Trying to set it up here. Spins again. Crossfield pass. It's going to deflect off of Barkowskis. He's able to save it before it goes out of bounds. And here's Dom Wantis with it. Only 2 goals in the third for Penn State. Maryland got 3 to get this lead up to 2. Penn State looking for one. There's a lot of green grass there, and Iwaniski makes the save off the Rowe shot, but it stays in play. Here's Songer. This one is tipped. Ground ball. Who wants it? Rowe couldn't get there. Got swatted up ahead by a Terrapin. And they're going to blow the whistle first, and it's Maryland's ball.
Well, it's great to see Iwaniski get the start here against Holy Cross. He came in the middle of the game, and now he's just starting, and he's done a great job here in the championship.
Here's Maryland with it. It's Brett. Over to Fonzo, who has 3 goals in this game. Fun fact, Maryland today with 7 goals, and they're all within the numbers jersey-wise of 0 to 6. All the single-digit guys taking care of business offensively for the Terrapins. This guy, Fonzo, with 3 of them. And Tucker Fanzo taking all the way himself again. Number 4 looking for number 4, and that one got deflected. And McCann was right there to keep it with the Terrapins. So McCann gets a little screen from Fonseca. Gives it up. Fanzo, that one flies by him. He couldn't make the catch there. Britt tapping that ground ball forward to himself. He's able to get it for Maryland. Jones. Jones, who has 2 in this game. Trying to work it back inside, spinning. Kicking it back out to Fonseca. Maryland taking their time, nursing this 2-goal advantage here in the national championship. This one slipped through the legs of Reshko. Did it cross the line for Fonseca? They say no, but that was close. That was really close. As Reshko got nutmegged right there. Didn't even see it, and it was about a centimeter away from being the 8th Maryland goal today.
The best chance at that one crossing over could have been just Horeshko himself. Lucky to notice and react accordingly.
And Horeshko absolutely saved by the bell right there. Dye. Penn State needs a goal urgently. They get it back to Charlie Dye, who has been spectacular this weekend. Has not scored today, though. They get their starting unit offensively back on the field for the most part. Here's another shot, and again, Garcia! He can't be denied! his third, and he got it low on that one to get it back to a one-goal game. You can't contain this man, and he's Euro stepping off the field. He's like, you can give me that layup. Back to a one-goal game, 7-6, first goal of the fourth quarter, and Garcia has scored all three in the second half for Penn State. And a false start on the face-off there. It's going to be Maryland's ball. The crazy thing about Garcia, he's done it in the same spot, and he's only drawn one guy on him. Pretty much for all of them. They're keeping him on an island out there. And at this point, rightfully disrespected by it. Here's Scott. As we're 6 minutes into the fourth quarter, 14 minutes left in the 2024 season. It's Tracy looking for an answer back. Tracy, he had the 8th goal last night against OSU, gives it up. Demick on the move, scores! Brendan Demick with number 2. And just when Penn State gets it to a one-score game, Maryland answers back viciously.
That score might drain the morale that's left with Penn State right when they get back within one. It's down to a 2-goal deficit immediately following. The Terps continue to play one step ahead of Penn State, but plenty of time.
Demick scoring his second, the third multi-goal scorer for Maryland here today, joining Fanzo and Jones. And this one's bad around. Diving for it was a Nittany Lion. And this is going to stay with Penn State here. And let's see if they can respond again. This fourth quarter brought to you by Powell Lacrosse. Visit powelllacrosse.com to get your lacrosse stick journey started. You can enter code NCLL24 for 10% off on any order with Powell Lacrosse, whose sticks are all made by a certified craftsman to make sure that you're ready to shoot it right out of the box. So once again, visit powelllacrosse.com for more details and to start your journey getting the best sticks on the market, alongside other merchandise as well. Garcia, he's been the only offensive goal scorer. I was going to say weapon, but I don't want to say weapon, but he's all there is to show for on the scoreboard. Can Price change that? Price, money.
Oh, that was smooth.
Bouncing it home and cashing in to get it back down to 1. Back and forth here in the fourth quarter. Mayhem in Maryland.
You could see off that spin move how open he was, and it just seemed like it had to go in on that bounce. Back within 1 now, under 12 to go. This one's coming down to the wire.
So Nathan Price, he does it again. He's coming down to the wire here. Another fight for it on the face-off. And who wants it? It will be Penn State for a sec. Whistle blows, hold, Penn State ball. As Maryland caught with the infraction there on the pile. So Nathan Price becomes the first goal scorer not named Rocco Garcia for the Nittany Lions in the second half. Who can enter the club if there will be another member? It's Garcia with it again. Actually, that's Wantis, excuse me. Tom Wantis looking to tie it up. This game has been tied once today at 5 apiece. Crossfield sling, steps into it. Iwaniski makes the save. It's picked up by Songer, though, on the rebound. That was Wantis taking that one. Songer spins, gets some space, has to give it up. Good look at the top. Tie game! Bellafiore with a hat trick.
Another Nittany Lion making their case for the Final Four MVP. Garcia and Bellafiore both handling the offensive load for Penn State. This game's right back tied. Couple of great opportunities, and Penn State got it there.
Yeah, absolutely did, and they needed it. That's 2 in a row for the Nittany Lions just like that, and Braden Bellafiore just bended on that one up high. And this is a Penn State team now that has tied it twice. They have not led today. This one is tipped up ahead, and it'll be picked up by who? It'll be scooped up by Penn State. They just sling it, and it's going to go out of bounds. Oh, that was in traffic for Chadwick. He had to get rid of it there in the pile, and it's turned over. Nine minutes left here in regulation. Tracy back to Demick. Maryland has watched this 2-goal lead squander away from them. Demick, he scored the most recent one for Maryland, gives it up to Jones. Back to Demick, working inside. He couldn't get a stick on it. He gets fouled first, though. Actually, no, it was a crease violation. So back to Penn State, and it's Hereshko. This one down the field in traffic. What a pass, an even better snag up ahead for the lead. Penn State, they miss. Wantis couldn't put the Nittany Lions in front for the first time today. What a pass from Hepworth to set it up to him. And that transition offense in full display once again, Charlotte, except that time they couldn't capitalize on it. Garcia to Ortiz, and Ortiz has been active here in the second half. Offensively, it's Price. Price dancing right, goes back to his left. Little fake, gives it up. Bellafiore, who's got 3 goals today. Bellafiore and Garcia, who are playing catch now, have combined for 6 of the 8 Penn State goals. Ortiz trying to back him down, gives it up. Songer didn't take the shot. He gets it ripped from behind instead, and I think he should have taken that shot right there, Charlie, as Jenkins poked it out of his mitts. And I feel like Songer a couple times, he had some good looks that he just didn't take. Up ahead for the lead again. McCann puts the Terps back in front. In transition, his second of the game. And the Terrapins, who have seen this get tied twice, they've responded both times to put themselves back in front. That time with a Jack McCann score. Still 7 minutes left, running clock here at UMD. So these minutes and seconds are precious for both these two teams. And neither team has used any timeouts in the fourth quarter or in the second half. So that's another X factor as well. This one is Fanzo. And now a timeout will be called by Maryland with 6:39 left here in the fourth quarter. The Terrapins are up ahead in what is a thriller so far in their home stadium. We'll be right back here on Fans Only Sports Network for the final 6:39 of the national. back here as this crowd is ready to rumble. They're roaring right now for the home team Terrapins, who are 6 minutes and 39 seconds away if they can preserve this lead from claiming their second straight NCLL championship. Tim Duffy, Charlie Adams following the Maryland timeout, bringing you back in. And the Terps looking to go up by 2 for the third time in this game. And they've led, or it's been tied for all of it so far in this one. Here's Scott putting on the Jets. Scott gives it up. That shot saved by Horeshko. What a save on the Fanzo shot. A big-time play. Biggest save of the game for Penn State. Down the field, it's Sluck. 6 minutes left here in regulation. Penn State trying to equalize it again. Charlie Dye, the hero of last night. Gets it back. Dye. To Wantis. Songer now. Price. Dye. Getting through traffic. He gets doubled on the far side. Has to give it up. Almost a minute on this possession for Penn State. Songer on the pass from Fish. Surveys on the cut. Price! Got it tipped. Goes out of bounds. He'll stay with Penn State. I think that deflected off the shin or the foot of a Maryland defender. Might have been Will Gervais, but remains with the Nittany Lions. Crunch time here. Every tick is valuable with this running clock. It's the president, Brody Myers, and the captain, Songer, spending the field together in what will be the final moments of the season. That shot gets saved. Dye could not get it by the freshman goaltender. Iwaniski again coming near side. It's Gervais. The defenseman getting offensive. Inside look. McCann again. 2 goals in the fourth for Jack McCann to give him the lead, and now a cushion as it's back up to a 2-goal game. Maryland in double figures for the third time in the tournament.
I cannot start to explain how important that insurance goal is for Maryland. With the time ticking down and continuing to tick on, the Terrapins up 2. That's a huge goal in this late stages of this ball game. You know, we've been treated to an exciting back and forth that has so many ups and downs for both sides. But Maryland currently riding high on the momentum.
I mean, that is so valuable. McCann, I mean, now we're looking at, if Maryland's able to win this game, we got McCann with 3 goals. We got Fanzo with 3 goals. Demick with 2, Jones with 2, and all these guys have been balling yesterday too. So this is a packed lineup for, you know, who's going to win this MVP award if Maryland's able to close this one out. Still 3 minutes to go. A lot of time left for Penn State. They couldn't get that ground ball there, which was huge, as Evan Jones reclaims possession. Here's Fanzo. Takes it, missed it left, and it'll stay with the Terps. And a flag is down. There's a flag down at midfield. And it's a push. And it was away from the play. I'm not sure who it was against. Looks to be a Terrapin coming off the field in the box. And I'm still waiting for it. Clock stops with 2:44. And no, this will actually be against Penn State. So man-up chance for the Terrapins as they have the advantage. Up 2. Scott, good feed in the middle. Tracy steps into it, and that one missed it left. Tracy, we saw him have a goal last night where he just bulldozed over a couple of Ohio State defenders. Here's a good look for Jones, right side. That one snatched by Hereshko. Now they got to get pushing. Clock continues to wind down. 2:20 and counting down. And Hereshko will feed it out of his mitts. This one turned over. Bad pass. Jones, the fake. Jones, the shot. And Jones with his third. And that might be the dagger. And Tyler Chadwick cannot believe he just threw an absolute bunny to Evan Jones.
You know, I was thinking maybe you use a timeout here. You had, especially after that pass that got it to Chadwick, but a mistake followed, and this 3-goal game, there's not much time left. Here's our timeout.
That may have been a self-inflicted wound. I mean, it was a self-inflicted wound, but that may have been the self-inflicted wounds of all the wounds in this tournament, as Chadwick just threw it right to Jones and put his team in a tough position, now trailing by 3. 2:10 left here from College Park. We'll be right back for the final minutes here on Fans Only Sports Network. Back here, 2:10 to go, and Penn State calling the timeout. You got to think, Charlie, when they were down a goal, 9-8, they had it on the plus side of the field. You know, for about 2 minutes that possession was where they couldn't score, tied up, and they didn't take a timeout there at all. They still had 2 left, and now using one here late in the game, down 3. This game, you know, could be too late, too little, too late for Penn State.
Yeah, you'd hope that they take the timeout to prevent mistakes, and now they're taking one after making the mistake. They were lucky to get that pass off over to the corner, but then immediately gave it away. And, yeah, if you have that time that you're taking up and you're not able to get it done on the field, you got to call the timeout, talk it over. Clock hasn't started running as we're back underway now.
You got to feel a little bit for Tyler Chadwick. He's got to be sick to himself after that turnover he just had, but still a lot of time. But Maryland in the driver's seat. 2 minutes left with the ball. It's Demick. Fonseca. So Maryland, 11 goals. This is a very top heavy-hitting team. 11 goals, only scored by 4 different players today. So the average is about a hat trick for those who have, but there's milking some valuable clock. They've had it for about 45 seconds now. Tracy. And Scott will walk some of this clock off. Continue to do so. Scott gives it up. Jones, a minute left from College Park. Jones just flings it over to Tracy. They're just playing keep away here with a 3-goal advantage. What a fourth quarter it was for Maryland, especially down the stretch. 3 goals after it was tied at 8 apiece. They get 3 in the last about 8 minutes of the quarter. Cap off an exceptional season. Tracy just flings that one into the air. That's going to kill off some clock. Hereshko's going to make a play on this one. And it's going back to Penn State. 23 seconds left.
Well, you said earlier how it's going to come down to which team makes the least mistakes, and Penn State made maybe the biggest mistake of the tournament and certainly cost them here.
Driving down the lane with it, and this will be Penn State. Turning it over. 8 seconds left. And Maryland, they can start the party now. The champions of the 2024 NCLL season resides in College Park. Back-to-back for the Terps as they defend their home field here in the championship game. 11-8 the final score. And Maryland etches their name in the history books. Repeat champions. Kings of the dance in 2024. Charlie, what a game it was. Maryland, they earned it. They deserved it. They're the number 2 seed entering the tournament, and they end up winning it all on their home field here today. I mean, what an exceptional run it was dating back to yesterday, and they proved themselves as the best NCLL team in the country here today.
You know, Maryland, they had to bring it today because Penn State also came to play. They had some flashy moments, but when it's all said and done, this was a great lacrosse game, and Penn State, after upsetting the then undefeated Navy to get here, put on a show right in front of Maryland's home crowd, tried to get the upset, just couldn't pull through at the end. The Terps back-to-back champions after losing the national finals in 2022. What a great event. What a great weekend.
What a spectacular weekend indeed, and what a fourth quarter it was in this game. It looked like the Nittany Lions were going to tie things up, but they could never get in front. That's been a common theme in this tournament this weekend across all the games. Maryland, they do it for the second straight year, and they do it on their home field. How sweet does that have to feel? Coming up next here on Fans Only Sports Network, we'll have the trophy presentation and the Final Four MVP announcement. Stay tuned. Maryland getting that team pick. They deserve it. They're the champions of 2024. What a season it was for them. as they win their 5th national championship, their 4th of the 21st century. And last year they did it at Penn State, coincidentally, against Ohio State. This year they do it on their home field. All right, we're going to sign off here on Fans Only Sports Network. Check out our Instagram at FO Sports with a Z, or go to our website, fansonlysports.com. Or just stay on YouTube if you want to watch the game again. See some highlights after the game on our Instagram and social medias. Also our X account, formerly known as Twitter, of course. But what a season it was for the Terrapins. They deserve it, and they're putting those championship caps on at midfield. We'll see you guys all next season in the NCLL, and Maryland on top here in 2024.